Hi, my name is Carolina with Little Helper, and I'm here to talk to you about washing and shared washers. So shared washers are basically washers that aren't yours. They don't belong just to you, and so they get shared with people. And so that can be anything from living in an apartment and the washing machines that are available in your apartment complex to going to a public laundromat. Oftentimes it could be a cause of stress, and it can make people believe that you cannot cloth diaper because you have to use machines that you're not exactly sure about. You're not exactly sure how often they get cleaned. You're not exactly sure what cycle you're supposed to be using. And I'm here to tell you that there is no reason to worry, because it is completely doable to cloth diaper while washing in apartment washers. Basically, all that you have to keep in mind is that a good wash routine for your diapers is going to consist of a pre-wash, a main wash, and drying your diapers. Okay, so something to keep in mind for your pre-wash. Your pre-wash is something you usually want to do in cold water, and this is just to prevent stains from setting. Hot water will often set stains. So you want something in cold water, and you want your diapers to agitate. So that means that a pre-wash shouldn't just be a rinse cycle that is going to soak your diapers and then spin them out. You want there to be some actual kind of wash where your diapers are becoming scrubbed. That way, all of the ickiness gets washed out, all of the poo residue and pee that was in there gets washed out and goes away with that load. And then that way, when you do your main wash, it is done with clean water. So cold and agitates, that's what you want to keep in mind for your pre-wash. Also, the detergent that you use in your pre-wash. You do want to use some detergent in your pre-wash, again, because you're trying to remove human waste from it. And the recommendation is to use half the amount of whatever the detergent that you use recommends you use for a heavy soiled load. You want to use half of that amount for your pre-wash. Then comes your main wash. For your main wash, you want to use hot water to properly clean, and you should use the heaviest setting available to you in order to do your main wash. And you want to use the recommended amount of detergent for a heavily soiled load of clothes. Another thing to keep in mind is that wherever you live, if it has hard water, you want to use some sort of water softener. So this could be borax or Calgon. So even though that these washing machines are not yours, you still want to go ahead and test your water or find out what the hardness level is where you live. And no, because if you're dealing with hard water, it can actually cause a whole other set of problems in your diapers. And so it's best to wash in soft water. And then finally, drying your diapers. So there are many different methods that you can dry your diapers in. Hanging them to dry is the freest option. Often if you live in a place where you are sharing washers, you're going to have to pay for them. And it can be kind of expensive over time for you to have to pay for a pre-wash, a main wash, and then drying. And so if you're able to just hang dry your diapers, it's gonna save you some money on that. I actually lived in apartments where it was in our lease that we were not allowed to hang things to dry in our balcony. And so keeping that in mind, I was drying my diapers inside of my apartment. You can just take any hanging rack, place it inside of your apartment somewhere where it's out of the way, and have a fan pointed and blowing at your diapers, and in just a matter of a couple of hours, I want to say it took about 3 to 4 hours for my diapers to dry, they will become dry, and the covers will dry super quickly, and so will charcoal inserts. Those dry super fast. If you need to though, if for example you are hanging your diapers outside to dry and it happens to be a day that is very gloomy or a day where it's raining and you need to toss them inside of your dryer, that's perfectly okay to do. You shouldn't have any issues. If for any reason you do have issues, for example, maybe somebody was using a lot of dryer sheets and there was a lot of residue within the dryer and they got onto the inserts in some way, it is completely fixable. And if this happens to your diapers, go ahead and contact Little Helper and we'll walk you right through it. That is pretty much all of the notes to keep in mind for apartment washing. Just remember, your pre-wash has to agitate, and so this can be any cycle. Every washing machine is going to offer you different settings. Some of them will only allow you to pick hot or cold water, and do you want delicates, normal, or heavy. And so for your pre-wash, you just want to pick whichever cycle is going to agitate. You want to make sure that your diapers are getting scrubbed in your pre-wash with cold water. For your main wash, you want to do hot water, and you want to do the heaviest setting possible. And then for drying, you can either hang dry or you can stick them in your machine. Again, Living in an apartment doesn't mean you cannot cloth diaper. We are here to help you through the stress.